Hello there, this is my review for the 2025 Game Awards. I have 10 tips on how to improve the show, so let's jump right into it. Here we go, Jeff. So the ending this year, let's get the elephant out of the room, right? The ending was trash. It was not good. You need to always end on a banger, and this year was not it. It looked like Concord 2. I'm glad I'm not the only one that didn't like it. It seems the entire internet did not like that ending. It was a hero shooter that nobody asked for, that nobody really wants, it seems. So you got to go back to the drawing board there, Jeff. I know you tried something new. I don't know how much they paid you or what happened under the table to make that occur, but please don't ever let it happen again. Let this be a lesson, right? Take the feedback seriously and let's move forward. You know, my whole thing is like there should be actually two good games announced at the end. There should always be you should always kind of lie to us. I know it sounds weird, but seriously, be like, okay, this is the last announcement of the night. And then you do that. And then after that announcement, and then you say oh wait, there's one more thing, right? Where the like show goes black, all the lights shut off, you know, and the curtain drops or whatever, or music starts playing in the background. So there should always kind of be two endings, in my opinion, you know, two final showings at the end. You know, the one that you announce and then the one more thing. The only time I think a third one would be appropriate, like after the Game of the Year winner. And you have to get their consent, of course, right? You have to like email everybody that is involved with the Game Awards, you know, that could win Game of the Year. After they give their thank you speech, right, their acceptance speech, the only time you would ever do something after that, in my opinion, would be like a huge console reveal for like a next generation console. And not only that, that's not big enough either. You have to have a console with a blockbuster game, right, being shown. So the perfect example, in my opinion, would be like PlayStation 6 with Bloodborne 2 or Bloodborne Remake. Something like that, right? That's the only time you should ever do an announcement after the final acceptance speech for Game of the Year. But barring that, that's like, you know, maybe 2 or 3 times in a lifetime that we should see that. Very, very seldomly should we see that. Other than that, every show, in my opinion, should end with 2 endings, right? A really good thing, you say, this is the final thing we're showing tonight. And then the one more thing, which is even better. That hero shooter, I don't even know what it's called, Highlander, who knows? I already forgot what it's called, you know? Highway Patrol. It looked awful, man. It looked terrible. And I'm not the only one that thinks that. Okay, so I know that took a lot of time just to get through the number 1, but I promise you we're just going to speed through the rest of them, the critiques now, and then a couple good things at the end. The second thing is, in my opinion, still, we haven't done any of this yet, and I hope you really do, Jeff. It needs more categories, the Game Awards. It's called the Game Awards for a reason, right? So to me, you should have a best horror game category, best boss fight of that year, best villain, best main character, best sidekick, all these types of things. Most emotional moment, right? Best character growth, or a moment in a game where, like, you know, it just pulled at the audience at our heartstrings, you know, and have people vote on that kind of stuff. So I really think you need some new categories that really give more credit to video games as a whole. So it's just something to think about. I'll be doing this. I mean, this is like the 5th or 6th video that I've done of the Game Awards. I do a review every single year, and I'm going to keep doing it as long as I am alive. Whether anybody listens or watches me, doesn't matter. I'm just getting my words out there, you know, and hopefully it reaches somebody some way, someday. Yeah. Okay. And a part of that, another category that I think would be really cool is like an upcoming creator award. So like put a spotlight on small channels. You know, it always makes me laugh how people that are already multimillionaires, that are already super rich and successful, they're always the one that that gets the spotlight, right? That gets the awards and the light shown onto them. Whereas they're not the ones that need help. The people that are multimillionaires, right, that are really successful, they don't need any marketing. They don't need any help growing. It's the small guys. So you could have like a little award, a little category where it's like anybody can submit their game clips or their, you know, video clips of themselves doing stuff video game related, and then they can vote. Have the fans vote, right? Just kind of be like a big poll, just like you do with the player's choice, where it starts really big and you narrow it down. Have it be like that, where everybody, small people like me, we can just submit our clips, our things, reasons why we think we're up and coming and why we should, get a little bit of love, a little bit of recognition in the industry. And then, do that. And then you can have the top 5 people there, whatever. I mean, you would change all of their lives. Even if, it's 6 people, right, that get nominated. The other 5 that don't win, all of their lives are still going to be changed because they're nominated. They're going to gain lots of subscribers, lots of followers, maybe brand deals, things like that. Company connections with the games that they love. For me, it'd be Team Ninja and Capcom. I would love to work with them. From Software. It'd be amazing. Nintendo for Zelda. So, shining a light on the little guys. I really think there's something to be said about that there, I get it. You got Moist Critical, Kai, IShowSpeed, all these guys, they make millions and millions and millions of dollars. They don't need any help. You could never talk to them. They could never speak to anybody ever again. No one could watch their videos ever again. And they would still be multimillionaires forever. They would never have to work a day in their life. So give the little guys a shot, man. Jeff, you have a platform to help. You have a platform where small people, you can help them grow. You can literally change lives. So I would do that. Okay, number 3. And this is a new one for me this year. Every show needs a demo, man. Every show needs a demo. I made a video about this like 2 days before the Game Awards, talking about how I really think there's a demo coming. And I named the games I thought it could be: Pragmata, Judas, Phantom Blade Zero, etc. And we got one. Pragmata, it's the music you're listening to in the background that I got playing here. Capcom released some music, which is awesome. But it's only for PC. It's only for Steam. And I get it. I'm happy for you guys on PC that have computers, right? That play on Steam. Great. What about us console gamers, man? I would love to play on my PlayStation. You just left out PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch players, Everyone, we're just left in the dust. So PC, Master Race, they get to play the demo and we don't. That's not cool, man. So Jeff, I think every single show needs a demo. Going forward, it is the Game Awards, and I think having at least 1, if not 2 demos would be great, If you're going to have like a shooter adventure game, then maybe a sports game or a racing game for those types of people as well, and vice versa. I think having at least 1, if not 2 demos available. You don't want to have like 2 shooters, right, or 2 action adventures, because then it's going to split the fan base. But give the different fan bases that already exist, give them something to play after the show. I really think that would be awesome, man. And if anyone can make it happen, it's you, my friend. All right, so yeah, add a demo, please. Okay, number 4. Couple of the awards, specifically like the best art and best music, things like that, best art direction, they need time to talk. Like, those are the awards where they just kind of come on the screen on the side over here, you know what I mean? And you just speed by them. For the esports awards, I get that, for the little whatever awards. But for something like best art direction or best musical score, those are awards that are worthy of having the people come up and give a speech. I want them to talk about the different art styles that they went with and how they came to, to fall onto the style that they chose, the thought processes that went on in their head. For best music, I want to know how the compositions came about, the collaboration that came, where the inspiration came from. Giving them time to talk for these specific awards, I think, is very critical, because music is a huge part of video games, and the graphical art style is massive. I don't think that can be overstated at all. So give them time to talk, Jeff, those specific awards, the art direction, and the music. Those people need to go up on stage, for sure. All right, number 5, this is specifically for you. A lot of these are for you, Jeff, right? Obviously, you're the guy. I think each show should have a theme. And what I mean by that is a theme of, like, not only the way you dress and Sydney dresses, but the actual stage. So themes could be a forest theme, right? Or a lot of green and vines. Water theme. Ice, space, light, dark, diamond or crystal theme, right? A fairy theme, snow. so many different themes I think you could have. Make the stage be more memorable. To be perfectly clear, your stages, your shows, they're awesome. They always look good. But I could never tell you what any of them were. So you ask me, well, what was 2023's theme? What did it look like? What did the stage look like, Lai? And I'll say, I don't remember. I know it looked good, but I don't remember what it was. There's no cohesiveness to it. I think adding that psychological connection would strengthen the neural pathways in our brains, right? So when we recall things, when we look back in the past, we can say, oh yeah, I remember that. That was 2026, that was the forest theme. Everything was all green and there was vines growing in a tree and you could incorporate that into the show. You know what I mean? So I think adding a theme to the show would be awesome. And then every year we could hypothesize and theorize, what's next year's theme gonna be? What's it gonna be? What's Jeff gonna do, It could be really freaking cool. All right? Nice. Number 6. I say it every year, the empty seats, man. You got to do something about the damn empty seats. I get it that people get up, people leave. It's hard to fill all the seats. I don't know. But at least for the viewers at home, right? For the people who watch at home, when we see the camera, you need to do it in such a way. We don't want to see empty seats. It doesn't feel good. Psychologically, it doesn't feel good. You want to have this feeling of wholeness, of connectedness, of oneness, of unity between your fans and the show. And when we look in there and we see, oh, there's a lot of empty seats around, it doesn't feel good. So whatever you need to do to get butts in the seats, or if it has to be camera tricks to make sure that when the camera's pointing at you or Sydney and then we can see all of the seats that are behind them or behind you, they need to be filled, bro. They need to be filled. Make sure you got the butts in the seats. I know it seems like a small thing, but it matters. All right. Number 7, you got to add names, to the bottom when people are speaking that are accepting the awards. I think you might do it a little bit for like a few seconds, but it really needs to be there pretty much the whole time. So if someone accepts an award for, best narrative, when they go up and they're accepting the award, it should show who they are, what their role was at the company, what game it was, the whole time. Well, even their social media handle should be there. So I know, who is this person accepting the award, right? Who are they? What was their role on the game? Were they the producer, the music composer, the art director, the creative director? I want to know who they were and what their role was. Then that fosters a connection. Then we can go follow them on social media, right? If we like them, we like what they're saying. Then we can connect with them. We can give them feedback on the game, and then they can take our feedback, make a better game, which will increase the sales and blah, 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 blah. You see how it just stacks on top of each other, right? You create these connections, and then it makes better products. They make more money. Fans are happy. The developers are happy. Publishers are happy. Everybody's happy. Get it? So you really got to put their names. You really got to show us, who is this person talking. It's very important. Well, number 8, better pacing. And what I mean by that is you got to have more bangers, spread throughout the show. It really seemed like there was a lot of lulls between the big AAA announcements this year, especially near the end. It was just a lot of smaller indie stuff. And then I guess maybe part of the reason is because that ending was so bad, right? So just better pacing. You want to make sure that you have, open really well, big banger, AAA. Then you can have your indies, smaller games, AAA, indie, smaller games. You know what I mean? Just, you want to have a nice sandwich, nice layered, thick sandwich of the show. So that's what I mean with better pacing. It wasn't too bad, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. Number 9, more orchestra music, man. I think we can all agree. Do a survey online if you don't believe me. Everybody freaking loves the game orchestra. So I think they need to make more original music, not just the ending theme song, They need to have more original music. There should be, a lot more music played throughout the show. If you want to have it be live, that would be the best case, but I understand it's difficult to have everyone there live in the back playing constantly, behind the curtains. I get it. So just have them record it before, have them pre-record music, even if it's only 5 or 10 second little clips, little quips. When people are coming on the stage or coming off the stage, little transitions, right? As you're transitioning from part of the show to another part of the show, have the Game Awards Orchestra playing some music, whether it's live, like I said, or live pre-recorded that you just play back. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't. You know, we don't need licensed music playing and stuff like that and just generic music. Play it. Have the Game Awards play little original transition musics. And they could also play the original music for the games that are being presented, right? So when Claire Obscure is winning something, or God of War, or whatever it is, or Zelda, you could have the Game Awards orchestra playing those theme songs while those people are walking up for whatever award it is, instead of just playing, like, you just normally what you do is you just play the song from the game directly. I get it, but having it be live, a live performance. There's a reason people go to see, like, Square Enix Final Fantasy live orchestra, right? Or Zelda live orchestra. There's a reason they go do it, right? Because it gives a different feeling. So instead of just playing the generic music from the game, which is already good, take it up a notch to the next level and have the Game Awards orchestra play it. I think that would be freaking sweet, man. All right? And number 10, I say it every year, Jeff, and I'll continue to say it, bro. Your shoes and your outfit. They're so boring, my guy. You got to do something. I'm not saying to go up there and dress like a clown, you know what I mean, and just be absurd. I'm saying you need more flair. You need more style in your shoes and in your outfits. You're the guy. You are him when it comes to video games. There's nobody else. It's just you, and then that's it as far as the face of gaming. Then you have your Kojimas, your Hidetaka Miyazakis, your Eiji Aonumas. You have these other guys out there that are Ken Levine's, Neil Druckmann for Last of Us Part 1 exclusively, Bruce Straley. But as far as the face of gaming, it's pretty much you, man. So just wearing a black suit with black shoes, it's sterile. It's really sterile. It's boring. It's uninspired. Like I said, there's a lot of middle ground with what I'm saying here. So that's, I guess you're over here. I'm trying to do it so that's left to right, right? You're really sterile over here on this side, and then there's clown outfits over here. Too crazy. There's a lot of middle ground in here, right? Where you can have like different colors, different trims, different brooches and stuff on your lapels and different things like that. Necklaces you could wear, just bracelets, watches, little even earrings. I don't know if you wear earrings at all, but just subtle things that you could do that would really bridge the gap to make it look cooler. Your shoes as well. God, I love shoes. I think shoes are ugly in general, but Hideo Kojima does it right. He treads that line. So inspiration from him, I think, would be a smart thing. Having that felt type of material that he wears on his his blazers sometimes, and his shoes and the shoelaces. There's so much you can do with style that you're just not doing. So I really hope that you start taking that more seriously. Like I said, you don't want to go crazy and be insane, but there's a lot of middle ground where you can improve the way you look. Speaking of which, matching your outfit with Sydney, right? If you're going to keep Sydney Goodman, she's great. Keeping her, that's great. But having you guys, even if you're just going to wear the same color that year, or both of you wear a certain bracelet, or both of you wear a certain watch or a necklace or whatever, or something, a little pin, a little brooch, something where you match, where you guys kind of match, and there's a synergistic relationship between the two of you. Like you're kind of the dual host. She's the host of the pre-show, right, in the opening act, and you're the host of the main show. I think having a bridge there, a connection between the way you guys look, I think it'd be really sweet. Okay, these last two things are just kind of bonuses. They're actually about the voting, like online. I think we all agree, all gamers out there agree, the 90-10 split, it's not enough, Jeff. No, if you ask any gamers, are you guys only worth 10% of the vote? We'd all be up in arms. Like, come on, it really should be 100% us. However, I get why you don't do it, because you don't want it to be socially engineered. I understand that aspect for sure. So it's never going to be 100% just the gamers, voting for the game of the year. However, 90% critics, man, come on. You and I both know, I don't care how much they pay you. Once again, you're like the guys I talked about earlier. You don't really need the money. If gaming is truly your passion, like you claim it is, you don't need whatever extra money you're getting from the 90-10 split. 80-20, 70-30, increase the fans' weight with the Game Awards. I think that would help people feel a lot more vindicated and validated when they vote for Game of the Year, you know? Because right now, it doesn't feel good as a gamer for my whole life since I was like 3 years old on the NES. I don't, seeing a 90-10 split, I'm like, dude, is my vote really only 10%? Is that what I'm worth? So come on, man. I get, like I said, why it's not going to be 100%. But you got to meet us. You got to meet us a little more, man. 20%, 30%, something like that. 70-30 split kind of sounds right to me. Give the gamers a voice, like really, not just the player's voice thing, but no, I mean for the real show. All the votes. You should really give us more of a voice. And you can test it each year, right? Try 15%, try 20, try 25, try 30. See what happens. You know what I mean? Nothing is set in stone here. You know, God didn't write the laws of the Game Awards in stone. Things can move around. Things can change. You are the guy. You can make it all happen. So try it. See what happens. Give it a shot. Experiment, man. Do a little science with it. The fans will respect you for it. We will appreciate you for it. Okay? And the last thing about the voting is like, be more specific with how games win. You know, when we go on the website and we see like Game of the Year, show us what is the criteria to win Game of the Year exactly. With the music, when you're voting for best music, best score, tell us, what are you guys looking for? What is the jury looking for when it comes to best music that year? You know, what is the criteria? Is it most unique music? Is it loudest music? Is it most rhythmic? You know, I think it's kind of like you got to put a stamp on it. You got to kind of draw a line in the sand and say, this is what each category is looking at and looking for. You got to be more specific, because right now you have that one little line there, and I get it. It kind of shows what they're going for with the voting, but each one should have really like 3 to 5 points, like specifically this, and this. Like with Game of the Year, it should be a combination of narrative, music, gameplay, graphics, you know, storytelling, like character development. You should have little bullet points on what constitutes a Game of the Year. You know, it should hit all those things. I think we can all agree. And you can ask the fans what we think, and we can help you come up with the criteria. What is it about best music? It should be emotional. It should be rhythmic. It should be dynamic, right? Not the same all the time. It should be unique sounding. It should fit the tone of the game and the atmosphere. There should be so many things that each category is looking for. Make sense? I hope that makes sense. Yeah. We want to be more specific about what each category is and what you're looking for when we're voting. Okay, 3 good things. Let's end on some good stuff here. Actually, I have the one I'll end on the best thing at the end. First of all, the length of the show, I loved it. 3.5 hours. I think it's great. You got 30 minutes for the pre-show and then 3 hours for the actual show. I think that's really good. You could even go to 4 hours. I don't think you should ever go over 4 hours. But the first hour is maybe just the pre-show. You could do an hour pre-show and then 3 of the regular things. Because people get angry. People say, oh, like it's so long. The show is so long. But not many people, Jeff, realize that this stuff only happens twice a year. Literally 2 days out of the year. You got Summer Games Fest in the summer and then Game Awards in the winter. So it's 2 days out of the year. So I really don't think 3.5 hours or even 4 hours is that long at all. Because the other 363 days out of the year, you know what I mean? There's nothing. So yeah, I think 3.5 hours is perfectly fine. You could even go to 4 and I'd be fine with that. Anything past that, then it's too much, right? But perfect for the show length. Great, my opinion. The second thing, the ads were good. You know what? You guys did a good job. I will give you credit where credit is due. The ads were good. They were not intrusive. Didn't seem like there were too many for the most part. At least while I was watching it, you know, it wasn't too intrusive. It didn't bother me very much. So I thought you guys did a great job with the ads. They were like subtle. They were there, whatever. Okay. It was all gaming related, which is great. Keep it like that. So keep leaning into that. Try to, you know, file it down a little bit if you can, always, right? But I have no problems with the ads this year, which is a rarity in today's day and age, man. Ads are everywhere and they're absurd. So you guys did a great job and I tip my hat to you guys with that. Okay, the last great thing here. Oh my God, Jeff, I love it. The artistic direction the show took, like the theatrics that you guys did, the special effects. You had like sparks falling down on the stage, you know what I mean? The light shows with the smoke and the people doing the theatrics and they're flying through the air and flipping around and stuff. Bro, I loved it. I loved it. Daisy loved it as well. We watched it together. It was great. It was fantastic. Keep going, keep leaning into that, you know, that live action. It's kind of like a play, you know what I mean? It's like a mature play, right? Oh, I adored it with the people coming in and then they were flipping up in the air and then the girl in the box for the control reveal, right? With the glass box, the glass case, all the smoke. And I love the sparks that were falling down. You could see them like shimmering on the floor as people were walking by and everything. Really, really good. The smoke effects, light effects. I loved it. The Lara Croft thing, man, it was so close. Like it was like the waterfall and you saw her like walking towards. I thought it would have been so cool, man, if she just walked out of the waterfall and the girl walked on stage. That would have been sick. So think about that, right? So you have like, you know, the waterfall there and the water, and then the girl just like walks out onto the stage. I thought the demon, yeah, that big demon, and he's like reaching through the screen and stuff like that. Exceptional. So the theatrics that you guys did, the art, the artistic direction that the show took this year, 2025, incredible. You did a great job, man. So yeah, that's it. That's my review. What would I give it out of 10? I would say 8 out of 10. I would, no questions asked. That ending there with the bad reveal, man, brings it down to like a 7, you know? That ending was awful, man, it was terrible. So never do that again. Make sure the last 2 things are worthy of being the final thing. That wasn't it. I don't care how much they paid you, bro. Just for the love of God, they would have paid you 80% of what they paid you if you just put them in the beginning or the middle of the show. You did not need to put that crap at the end. So that's it, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Jeff, I hope you see this. Hope you watch my other ones, you know. Hope you're watching everybody's reviews, not just mine. Watch around and get feedback from the fans. If you listen to everybody and take our feedback into account, you will come to a coalescence. You will come to a consensus of what the fans want, and you can improve the show every single year, forever. All right? Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. I am the Lion of Truth, and I'll see you later.